Hi, this is Stacia, and today we're going to look at a tournament game that I played at leechess.org. This is a tournament called the Tuesday Tussle, ran by Progressive Chess, also my employer, but it's got to be my favorite online tournament. In this game, I faced Jim Antoline, my old coach, who basically helped me get from 1400 to 1700. So let's have a look at the game. D4 he played, knight f6, a flexible move, c4, d5, striking in the center, c5, d5, pushing past my pawn, and b5. And this is the Benko Gambit, and him and I have played 5 tournament games now. I think that 2 of them, actually, we had this position. And out of those 4 tournament games, this being the 5th one, I have yet to take win against him. I did secure 2 draws, but 2 were losses. Okay, so let's continue. He took the pawn, a6, and now he unleashed a surprise. His pet variation in the past has been f3, the Delugi variation. And here he went b takes a6. So this is the fully accepted Benko Gambit. And now the main move is to play g6. And only after knight c3 we take the pawn. And I forget why I do that. I just have it memorized. But there's some line with like b3 and bishop b2 that you're avoiding. So, okay, sometimes you want to, like, if they do this plan, you want to take with a knight. So I vaguely remember that. So I should probably look that up again. All right, so e4. And he's pretty much threatening e5 at this point. So I felt I should play, well, first take the bishop and then d6. And this is correct. And I noticed that Lichess calls this the king walk variation, but it's really the main line of the Benko Gambit. So white has lost their castling rights, but no biggie. They're going to go g3, king g2, you know, the knight will come out somewhere, probably f3, the rook will come out. And even though those arrows look pretty hideous, I assure you it's a pretty harmonious development scheme. Okay, so let's continue. g3, according to plan. And now I just want to develop in castle. Bishop g7 helps me accomplish that. King here, castles, knight f3, and knight a6. Okay, so I have the opening book open, and I see now that my move was probably inferior. So the main move here is knight b to d7. And I suspect that the knight is going to route itself to b6 sometimes. Or perhaps we'll do this maneuver. I've seen this kind of thing. And when the knight takes back, we can take with a knight. So that was probably the right way to go. Instead, I went knight a6, not wanting to get in the way of this knight. I thought maybe the knight would come here. Why did I think that? Because white has the option to play h3, but perhaps this is too weakening for white, because they probably do want to go f4 later. Okay, I'll try not to go down any rabbit holes. Rook b1. Yeah, so this is probably his first move out of what he memorized and prepared. But rook b1 is a move I see, and this is a practical choice, because you want to get off this diagonal. So this is often a correct move. And now there's only 3 games in the database. None of them are good for black. One's a draw. All right, so let's have a look from here. After rook b1, I went queen b6. And given what happens in the game, I don't like queen b6 so much, and I see now the computer wants queen d7 And I think there's good reason for this. So keep that in mind, and I'll reference that as we continue. Queen to b6. He went queen e2. And now the computer wants knight c7. Yeah, so unlike some other Benko lines that I'm familiar with, usually we want to go c4, knight c5, and knight d3 if we can. And if we can get this knight to e5, we have this sort of idea going on. But here the computer is asking for knight c7, which I think means my plan doesn't work. And I noticed that during the game because the queen is doing a nice job defending the square. So already I was regretting my decision to put my queen on b6. Maybe queen c7, I thought, to help support this push. Okay, but it's a Benko Gambit. Let's bring our rook, both our rooks, to the open, well, half open A and B files. And now he played b3. I always feel scared when I see this move during a game because I do not want this bishop to come to b2 and trade off my star bishop on g7. But nonetheless, this move is on the board. Also, though, this undefends the knight. So white must be careful here. Okay, so I played knight g4. This is a maneuver I want to do anyway, so why not do it with tempo? He must defend the knight. And I thought for sure that he would go bishop b2 here. So this move is fine. Computer gives h3. Okay, that's gutsy. So saying that we could do this, and I guess this is good for white somehow. Yeah, I'm buying it. I think this is good for white. Maybe maybe this king is safer than it looks. Knight coming here. I'm not sure, but it looks like maybe white has an attack. Okay, so I did not see that move. Knight here. Bishop d7. Now again, the computer wants this. But I went queen c7. Computer hates that move. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know what to do in this part of the game. I was scared of knight a4, tempo on my queen, and then after queen c7, bishop c3. And I thought I'm going to have to probably trade off my bishop. Even after this, takes. I don't like any of that. So let's see if that was warranted. So after here, computer says knight c7. Can I play a move like this? Let's play this one. Queen to b5. Okay, this move I missed. This attacks the queen. Generally, you don't want to trade queens in a Benko Gambit, so this is a bit of a concession, but perhaps this is the best way forward. And computer does say it's equal, so I guess we do have compensation for a pawn here. Trying to see why. I'm not totally getting it. This knight is on the edge of the board. This rook is misplaced for now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the computer sees that I don't see, but this doesn't seem to be all that wonderful in my eyes. Okay, but he played h3, which I kind of hoped for because, like I said, I want to come to the e5 square. He took. I took. And now I was wondering if he can go for f4. This is often a feared move in the Benko Gambit. But with the king on g2 and with h3 in, it feels awfully weakening. and maybe it's just a little too much. So computer agrees. It's not going for f4. Instead, it wants a4. But he played this move first. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, sorry. I'll get it back. No problem. h3. Okay. Knight to b5. I saw this move might happen. I wasn't all that worried about it until I realized, yeah, he could play a4. And what do I do? So I played queen d7. He did go a4. And, you know, white has a nice advantage at this point of the game. So I've been outplayed in the opening and the early middle game. And now I need to try to do one of two things. Find some way to equalize or mix things up and make it crazy so that I can just try to outplay him. Risky to do against your own coach or whatever. All right, but that I do believe those are the two correct strategies. Okay. Computer still wants knight c7. But I figured I would double my rooks. This pawn is weak and backwards. So that seems to make sense to me. And the computer doesn't hate it. So, okay. And now, queen to c4. So my goal here was to equalize and then maybe mix things up with a move like e6 or f5. Try to break things open and see if I could cause some trouble. Also, another goal is to keep this bishop. I do not want to trade, so I will try to keep this bishop if possible, but I do want to trade this knight for this stupid knight and a6. This knight is ridiculous, and so finally I took the computer's idea, knight c7. Wow. Have you guys ever had this happen to you? The computer will say knight c7 is best, like a million moves in a row, until I play it, and then it says it's bad. Instead, it wants rook a8. Okay, I don't understand that. So maybe we'll find out why. Okay, he took. Yeah, and here I suddenly realized that maybe I don't want to take here because of b4. So let's see if that's true. Yeah, b4, computer gives. And now you see my problem. This pawn is pinned. So this would be a huge mistake because takes, and black lost. So I cannot take that pawn. If I cannot take this pawn, then this is kind of a big deal. That's going to create two connected passers. So yeah, computer gives like bishop d4 and this. I did not want to allow this. This looks like white is strategically winning. So I had to take with a rook. I don't want to do this either. Disconnect my rooks, but it's better than allowing b4. Computer wants b4 anyway. But he played queen d3. This is mysterious to me. I don't know why he played queen d3. I think maybe he wanted to stop f5. I mean, I'm not totally sure. But okay, I knew I was worse here, but it's a game of chess. And in chess, when you're worse, the correct thing to do is play chess. Try not to make mistakes. And if your opponent makes a mistake, which you should encourage, make sure that you jump on it. Okay, so I simply redoubled and he went rook c4. Very sensible move. This actually stops me from infiltrating in here. Also guards this pawn, which maybe this is a pin. Not sure if it is right now. but this might be an idea. Okay. And I broke with e6. So let's see what the computer says about this. Computer wants the rook on a8, and it says after g4, which I didn't consider. I should go bishop f6. So I don't know. I don't understand these moves. I went e6. Computer doesn't totally hate it, but the idea is if you're being attacked on the wing, break in the center. And, you know, my opponent is winning on the queen side over here. So I have to do something. If I don't play e6, then what on earth do? I need some sort of counterplay. So e6. And he played queen f3, another move I don't really understand. Computer again wants b4. If b4 now, I would take it, right? So why does it do that? So let's look at this. b4, I would take it. And what does the computer have in mind here? It says rook b to b4. Okay, I would take. Take with the bishop. It wants e takes d5. Yeah, I would do this, I think. This pawn is weak at least. I can take this even. Discovered attack. Computer wants to take the rook. Wow. Okay, why? Oh, because we take this. And so, okay. So the idea of this whole thing is to simplify the game. And white's better here because white has an extra pawn. It's a pass pawn. And white has a queen versus my pieces, which I would still have hope here to get a draw. I mean, we can coordinate on the f2 square potentially. But then again, this is pretty far along. So, okay. e6 and then f5. So I'm just trying to get something going, even if it's not good for me. He took here, and now I saw a funny line. I saw takes, and if he takes my queen, I take his queen with check, and after this, I can take back. But I wasn't too happy with this resulting position. I still think that this a pawn means that black's way better. So I didn't go for this. I want to keep the queens on. So instead, queen takes. Now I'm toying with the idea of queen takes rook. Queen takes rook, pawn takes, rook takes. And I've won 2 rooks for a queen. The problem is that maybe he'll be able to take here. I don't know. I think I'm going to lose a pawn. So it's probably not best. So instead of that, oh, besides it was his turn. So here I actually played pawn takes. Computer gave queen f7. I considered this move during the game. But I thought after this, I just gave up a pawn. Computer wants to trade queens. I'm assuming I have to take this, right? Oh. Okay. I saw a line like this during the game, but I don't think at this exact moment. Because now the queen has to move, or the king has to move. And we have time to take back, but again, the position is clarified quite a bit, and I think white's a lot better. So I'm not sure this stuff is working out for us in the end. Okay, let's see what happened in the game. Takes, 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 and I took with a pawn, just preserving queens. I think this is a bad move. Computer agrees that it's worse. Okay, so now my king is weak, and I'm dealing with these queenside pawns, but there's some play in the position. So at least I have my rooks doubled on this file, and maybe some magical thing will happen. Who knows? So queen here, and I played the move bishop to d4. My idea is that this move kind of blocks things up. I now have access to this square. I have now access to this square. Both are checks, by the way. And my bishop's just fine here. I thought he would play this. Oh, that would lose to this. Or not lose, but that would be bad. But he could go... Can he go this way? Let's see. He could go this way. Yeah, I think maybe he should have done that. But okay. After this move, he played b4. So b4 undefends the rook once. That must be why he put his queen here. And it's threatening to take. Actually, he's not threatening to take because I would take here. So he's threatening to play b5. Two connected passers are good if you're taking notes. So I threw in this check. A little hope chest never hurt anybody. I was hoping for this. Oops. Sorry about that. I was hoping for this move because that would allow check, win the queen. So I think he must go king h2. And he thought a little too long and then played this move. And unfortunately, that's a game-losing blunder. Check, takes, takes, and it's hard to even find a move for white to salvage the position because everything's hanging. This queen is attacking the bishop, the rook, and the rook all at once. I don't think there's a way to save any of them, so you're going to lose even more material. So my opponent did resign. So this is one of the funny things about chess, you know, because I got outplayed that entire game. Definitely outplayed. I was much worse. Like +2 for white most of the game. But this is something that I've learned, that if you hang in there and you're patient, sometimes your opponent will make a mistake. So I want to go back to this because I think it's instructive for me as well. This is something I've just started doing. These moves, e6 and f5, I do not think these moves are objectively best. And the computer will not give these moves. But for human players, I think they are stronger. And it's because of what happened in the game. Due to opening up the center and the king side a little, it opened up more opportunities for black and it made it a little more confusing. And this allowed me to set up a trick which my opponent blundered into. So now I will tell you, I did not play a good game of chess here. I probably don't deserve the win, but chess is like that. I've had good games that I played where I actually lost in the end because of something like this. So it is a part of chess, and we as chess players, even us truth seekers, which is kind of what I am, I like to find the truth in position. We are not immune to tricks and traps and cheapos like this. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the game. This did mean that I have taken my first win against my coach, Jim Antoline, but I don't fully consider it a win because he did outplay me this game, and it was only one simple mistake that ended it. So I'll be back with more videos. Thank you. Bye.